I love that. Yeah, I like that. It's like we were rolling, had our
Right,
laugh
right.
track reel, everything going on good, and stop. It said recording in progress. And we
Like
just stopped.
lights and sound. Right,
Yeah, well,
right,
what they're probably not going to want to listen to is people laughing.
right.
Better get serious. Let's get
Get
real about this.
get for real here.
Gives me the option to leave the meeting. I'm not leaving this, Stelly. I'm in it.
No,
Actually,
in
I'm not starting it either. I'm pouring coffee.
okay.
What you into?
Nothing. Just poking around. Gonna do some
Little
Christmas
sick, huh?
shop, little Christmas shopping and stuff.
Online or just at the stores there?
Both.
But we're on. One of these days we'll be lucky and we'll just be able to be shut in all day.
I
That's what
know,
my
right?
preschooler told us. In preschool, she said, in the future, you're going to fly to work, but you're not going to have to work because robots are going to do it for you.
Ah,
You're just going to have to fly to work and make sure they're doing your job. Are you doing my job? All right, good. Going back home. Don't bother me.
that's funny.
And ask what you're really into. You're shopping, but I mean, nothing else really. You ain't tattooing. You ain't working. What?
No, I'm off today. So
You ain't got any cool projects worked up?
no, man, I'm all moved in, settled in. I ain't got really nothing. Noah's coming over in a little bit.
Well,
Gonna
good.
do
Then we'll have plenty to talk about.
gonna do lunch with him. So
Oh, Noah. Okay. I didn't.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know if it went out. I didn't really hear the name.
yeah, my son Noah.
Well, I was hoping to talk to you about something you reminded me of in a text message recently.
What's up?
That because I forgot it, but never really applied it, I guess. But you must have listened to the podcast with Tramp because you said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry about not acknowledging you when you came to the shop so many years ago." I must have
Yeah,
told the story about the first time I ever saw you, and we never met really. But
right.
I just saw you tattooing, and I'm some young fucking tattoo artist scratching out of his house. Wasn't scratching, but working out of Flint. And I came up and I was like, "Hey," and I kind of nodded at you, and you kind of
Right.
looked at me, and you gave me kind of not really a sneer, but and not really a Jersey smirk, somewhere in the middle.
Just a rude look, huh?
It wasn't a hey, great to see you.
Right.
Not not what I'm familiar with now when I see Stelios. It wasn't a hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Right, right. Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you? There you go. Yeah, it was what the fuck you bothering me for?
Right, right.
Um, I was put off by it honestly that day, but um, after so many times, I don't know, many times, wasn't even that long, right? You get to realize real quick, even as you're leaving the shop, you're like, that guy probably gets bothered about ink, something that's not his job on a daily basis.
Yeah, at that point too, like we were literally like getting traffic every day by somebody and multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you got black, you got any black ink, got any thermofax paper, blah, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff day in and day out. But I just feel bad because like that's the impression I made on you the first time. And I didn't know you and I didn't really
well, you apologized to me for it, but I didn't. I mean, none's needed. I don't know. What do you say? You're welcome. Do you say you're forgiven? I guess that's what I say.
I guess I don't know.
But
But
none's needed. I completely understand now, and also, but moreover, I wanted to go over how you feel now about it because like you look at it now, and you were really apologetic about it. You were very emphatic about how you felt, and you say that at one point that you were cocky in your youth as a tattoo artist. That's what you
yeah,
told me, I believe.
yeah, definitely. I wasn't like a popular kid in school or anything like that. So
No, no,
when
I
I
don't believe it.
when I
I don't believe it. You're lying to me, motherfucker. You
no
were on the wrestling team. How were you not popular?
no, no, dude, I was like a dork, but
Did,
whatever. But
did you have all that? No, not whatever. Let's get into your dorkness. That's what people love the most, man. What tell me what made you a dork? Did you know the Misfits yet?
oh yeah, I was balls deep in the, in the Misfits.
Did you mean
I,
to make it sound as gay as it just sounded when you said that?
no, Iron Maiden, like all of that, like
Twisted Sister and Def Leppard.
no, that wasn't really my thing. But
I
I
didn't
was
mean Def Leppard. I guess you don't really put Twisted Sister and Def Leppard in the same category, but
yeah, I was more
maybe
into like
adjacent.
death metal kind of thing, like Obituary and more Morbid
Oh, okay.
Angel,
What'd
death
you think
metal.
of King Diamond too, or not?
No, I didn't really like King Diamond or Merciful Fate back then, but I
Too
kind of
much
do
rock
now.
opera.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
little operatic, but I did like Judas Priest, and he was kind of operatic too.
Right.
But no, Misfits and Danzig was definitely my thing, and nobody really heard it or knew it, except I think there was like two kids that whenever I wore the shirts that like nodded at me or whatever. But that was like you know,
Remind me who the Misfits are.
it was
Aren't they somebody? I should have heard of them. What they
uh,
do? They go on and they wrote Blitzkrieg Bop or something, right?
no, that was the Ramones, but
Oh yes,
the,
yes,
the
yes.
Misfits were like an old punk band between like 1978 and 1982. So I was too young to catch them then anyway. But then the singer Glenn Danzig became Danzig, who then I also started to follow and stuff.
All right, and we need no more mention of him because we all watched him on Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, with the blood going up the walls.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Um,
Class.
since you were a fan of something that was popularized, or I don't even know, they weren't that popular when they came out, were they? The Misfits weren't that
No,
hip.
I mean honestly, like Metallica kind of helped popularize them because they were always like wearing their shirts and stuff like that. And then
Okay,
they tried like reuniting in like '96 with a different singer, and that like wasn't as successful.
which
And
singer?
he was Michael Graves was his name,
Okay,
but it was cool for us old fans because then live they would play like all of the old songs and stuff too. But it definitely took on like more like a metal kind of sound than the punk sound that the early Misfits was about.
yeah.
So
Uh, Metallica also made the first song I ever heard the Misfits, which was
yeah,
Garage
they
on their Garage Days album,
yeah
right?
they did the medley for Last Caress and then Green Hell, which was not as popular. But Last Caress, then they started playing regularly, like in their live sets and stuff. So I think they kind of definitely helped like keep their legacy alive and stuff like that. But
You think
probably
Lars and Glenn hang out?
I doubt Lars hangs out with Glenn. I
No,
think
why not?
him and James actually became good friends, and then Kurt
Okay.
Hammett, because I guess Kurt is a huge horror movie buff like Glenn Danzig is, so they probably have that in common. And I guess Cliff Burton, when he was alive, they were good friends, of
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm way off track. I'm trying to explore the
No, we're
nerdness,
exploring the inner nerd of Stelios.
the
Yeah,
inner
yeah,
nerd of Stelios.
yeah.
And not only that, but the inner nerd of us all. What it's like nerd is popular now.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't really popular back then, but
No, they had a whole movie about it. Remember Revenge of the Nerds? What was
Revenge of the
there was
Nerds.
nothing worse than nerds.
Yeah, for real. So I wasn't like really, like I was saying, popular in school or whatever. But then when I started tattooing, we were. I think there was only one other parlor in the neighboring area back then, and then us. So then I started kind of doing something different or unique or original with like my designs and stuff. So it took off really fast. Like overnight, I was like popular, but then I like worked hard for it too. I did like an old school method, like punk rock method of promoting. I was printing off hundreds of flyers and sticking them on cars under their windshield wipers, and
Pissing off people in parking lots.
yeah, asking businesses if I could hang up a flyer in their barber shops and stuff like that around town. And kids don't really do that anymore. You don't really need to, obviously, with like
Well, you do it
Facebook and Instagram.
with your post, right? You just go around and you put up your post.
Yeah. So it was like an old school method of like promoting a band or something, is how I kind of tried to help promote
I guess
eternal
nowadays
tattoos
the
myself.
I do. I
Yeah.
figure the equivalent to flyering a parking lot nowadays must be posting on message boards or something, right? Or having a members joining a Facebook group
Yeah,
and then
probably.
posting up every 10th one so you don't get kicked out an advertisement.
Yeah, like I said, it was just the old school method. You remember like seeing like so many like I don't know, like light poles like in Ann Arbor with like old tape and old staples from like bands just plastering their shit all over town.
And one Stelios Fiend Club
And
sticker.
one yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's like,
Were you going out and hitting the drive-throughs too? You know, when you go through the drive-through, you put your sticker on the side of the drive-through window.
oh man, I was putting them everywhere, like every bar, I think I had stickers in, bathroom doors on the machine shop all the way to downtown Detroit and
I had,
places.
I believe I've run into somebody who wasn't aware that the Crimson Ghost, which
Uh-huh.
you appropriated, we'll say, so that we don't say plagiarized, you appropriated from the Misfits as an
No,
icon. The Crimson Ghost, if I'm not mistaken, from the Edgar Allan Poe poem, right?
no, it was an old he was like a detective, like a series called The Crimson Ghost. He's actually a
Oh, he
good
was a
guy.
detective.
Yeah, he was actually a good guy. And the Misfits adapted their lettering from the old famous monsters logo, and Glenn, I guess, drew the Misfits, but in that font. And then they were trying it with many different old classic horror monsters like Phantom of the Opera and shit like that. And then they all agreed on the Crimson Ghost.
Because they were
So
like,
the
this one's not popular enough to sue us.
right, probably like so like they made like this seal or like stamp of approval, like circular logo that said the Misfits Fiend Club with that Crimson Ghost in the middle. Well, I did like in my first year of tattooing, I did like this zombie tattoo that was like half man, half skull, and I loved it. And then I remember messing around with like early Adobe Photoshop or something and making it like posturized where it was like just black and white, so it looked like almost like a army stencil or something like that. And I loved how it
Okay.
turned out. And I was like, that's perfect. I could use that as like my seal. And I put that in the circle with the Misfits Fiend Club logo and made it the Stelios.
I swear I've had people not know. They knew that it was yours. They had
Right.
no. They're like, this fucking band is using Stelios's fucking.
Yeah, I've heard some funny shit too. Like,
I don't know
dude,
who these guys
did
think they are.
yeah, I
Can't
think
just
it was
steal
like
shit
a.
from a tattoo artist and go on and make
I
$1 million
hope
on your record
I hope
album.
he's getting paid, right? Yeah, yeah. But no, I remember actually somebody like telling me that with like the early Transformers movie or some shit like that. One of the first ones, I think. And somebody had like the Misfits Fiend Club, like a poster in their bedroom or something. And somebody came like right to me. He's like, dude, you're fucking getting huge, man. Like,
Ah,
yeah,
what
it's
they
like
saw you in the
your
Transformers movie.
posters in the your logos in the new Transformers movie, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like,
Just walk it off, man. Just be like, yep,
yeah, let's
right you
rewind
are.
here. Yeah.
You want me to sign an autograph for you?
And then I
$5.
remember just early on people like who were hating, just being like, yeah, then I heard he ripped off some logo from these guys, and blah blah blah. And then they're the same ones that use like the same lettering as fucking whatever on their business cards. Like, oh, okay, so then you took my
Yeah.
idea of a little pinch here and a little pinch there, and you
Yeah. You
pinched your
shit on
own,
my
didn't
idea and
you,
then you
buddy?
use your, yeah. Now it's a
Right,
great one when
right.
it's yours,
So
but when
now,
it was
yeah,
my
so
idea,
yeah, so now fuck you, right? Yeah.
well, that
So
was the attitude though of tattooing in those days too, right? I guess is the long about that I'm getting to or hoping to get to is the day that I meet you the first time wasn't the happiest of exchanges. We never even said hi, but it was in an era. Now, even though I came into the shop with a great big goofy smile on my face trying to make friends,
all
it
right.
wasn't because I was a likable, nice guy tattoo artist. It was
Right.
because I was no longer in my small pond where all the tattoo artists in our small pond in Flint, Michigan hated each other. I was
Right.
now reaching outside, so I needed to have a friend kind of. So I was like, yeah, anybody, I'll be a friend.
I'll be a friend, right?
And but that was the attitude. Talked with Gil Monty recently, legend, Gil the Drill Monty. Um, and
Love Gil.
he's a pretty awesome guy.
Yep.
He's an interesting guy. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can say his charitable work is the highest on the level of but he's lived a hell of a life. He's fought
Yeah.
for us in our country. He's fought for tattooing. Can I say that? I don't know. I feel like he's fought for himself inside of tattoo. I asked him what was one of the biggest requirements of his day and age of tattooing. And this is because I'd read an interview where he said something very similar. I just wanted to open up the door so he could start telling me about it. But
Uh-huh.
back in the day, it wasn't being a good tattoo artist that got you hired. According to Gil, you had to put up with some shit. You had to beat some ass or be prepared to fight at any given time because you might be going into, as he was describing, he was in another bikers area tattooing as another
Oh,
biker
right.
club or something. And so
Sure.
there was immediate conflict right away, you know.
Right.
Uh so he had it like it would be a routine part of his day to go in, get in a fight, do some tattoos, go out at night and get into whatever trouble you could with the
Yeah.
money you made.
Yeah, it definitely when we started the tattooing, it was definitely different. It was more, not like, hey, accepting a new guy into the neighborhood. It was more like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
In
Taking
my
away
neighborhood.
my money, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm. Or
So yeah,
even
yeah,
my
we did have to
skills,
have
right?
like, yeah, we did have to have like a different attitude. And it's unfortunate, that we couldn't all, you know,
Get along.
right. But that's how it kind of was, though.
Why can't we all get along? Well,
Right.
because there's
And
only so
then
many people getting tattooed and
and
there's
then
way too
between
many people
between
doing it.
us between
Mm-hmm.
us and that other parlor, people either hated them, they would come in and talk to us about how shitty they got treated over there, and these guys are rude, so we came to you guys and you guys are nice, and that, or vice versa. I'm sure people left us, so, oh my god, these guys are expensive, they wanted a hundred
Stelios a dick,
dollars
man. I
Yeah,
said hey to him and he didn't even say hi.
he didn't even look at me, man.
So
Right,
now I'm coming here to get your ink.
yeah, so it's like really a stupid era, but I guess it had to be what it had to be so it could be what it is today. I don't know,
Seems
like,
that way, don't it? Because
right,
like what I guess what I'm seeing too, Gilmani came well before you and I in
right.
tattooing, and he talks about having to fight on almost a daily basis. You and I get to tattooing. We don't fight about tattooing, but we give each other a couple of snarls, you know, right? And then nowadays in tattooing, people, maybe I'm wrong, but like for an old timer like myself in
Uh-huh.
tattooing, you go to the show and there's a new guy there, and it seems like everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're new! How cute! Ah, let me help you."
Right.
And you're like,
Yeah, it's
"What?"
definitely different. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
I can't say that it's wrong the wrong way either, because it's definitely, I guess, where it should
Probably
be and
better,
how,
huh?
how it should be. But man, I sit back and kind of think, man, goddamn, like, I wish I had all sorts of help from this guy and that guy telling me how to promote and get on
But did you ever
Facebook
have
and do
anybody
this and
give
do
you?
that, or
Did you
maybe
ever
a
have
text.
anybody give you straight bad information, like just to try to
Oh,
fuck you up?
oh yeah, yep. I remember dudes. Just yeah, man.
What would they
We
do to
really
give me some good ones?
we really had to work for it, didn't we? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I remember the first time I bought a tattoo machine off somebody I didn't know. It was
Uh-huh.
only my second tattoo
You
machine.
got
I
to
got my
turn it
first.
all the way up. Right, right.
Dude, he did. He said, "What do you want, a liner or a shader?" And I was like, "Well, I already got another machine, which I think is a liner, so I guess I
Uh-huh.
want a shader." And he said, "All right, no problem." And he took the machine and he did some shit to it, kind of back in the room. He Allen screws, and basically what he did was he just bent the fuck out of the spring.
Uh-huh.
And as a, if you're not familiar with rotary machines, then you might know a coil machine, which has a spring, operates like a circuit that continually breaks the circuit and resets and breaks and charges and resets. But if you really harden up that spring, if you bend the fuck out of that back spring, it's going to run like shit. And that's
Right.
what he did. He was like, "Here's your machine. I'm going to sell it to you for twice what I paid for it. And then I'm going to ruin it for you so I don't have competition."
Right, right. Yeah, we definitely had to deal with some bullshit like that. That's for sure, But
How does it make you feel seeing these kids coming up then with all their love and acceptance?
well, I mean, I think it's great. They're doing
Okay.
phenomenal work. I mean, it's amazing, But like I said, I can't help but be envious sometimes and think like, damn, I wish I had like somebody the equivalent of like Cody Reed helping me out, or you know what I'm saying? Just like all these amazing artists that are helping people out, and it's cool. I'm like I said, I think we had to eat shit, our fair of shit, so it could be how it is now. And then I often wonder too, like with Tramp and some of the older dudes, like they probably saw us when we were coming in, like, oh, there goes the fucking neighborhood. These fucking, you know,
Yeah.
and probably thought the same shit about us, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Fuck these guys. Well, Tramp,
Right.
first, when you first went to a job for Tramp, he said no. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, there's a great story with him hiring me and stuff.
Oh, let's
Um,
get into it.
yeah, he basically like, well, I was
Well,
getting
let
tattooed.
me set the setting, and you tell me where I'm wrong. I know that this is
Okay.
stupid. And someone's told me, Kyle, you have the worst interview uh, procedure in the world. You say something and then you ask someone to disprove it instead of just asking them. But man, I just love that shit. So help me where I'm wrong. You walk in there, you got your death lock from the Misfits Club rocking. You got your
No,
leather
no,
jacket with
no,
the razor blade sewn in. No,
no,
no. You
not
go
at
up to
all.
Tramp and you're like, "Hey, old timer, you old fuck,
Yeah,
how about
no,
you give the kid a job?" And he
no,
says, "That's
not at
not what
all.
happened." Damn it.
I used to get tattooed at different eternal tattoos from a guy named Kenny. And Kenny was always like, you should do this, you should do this, you can draw. Because I would always like show him like some of my drawing books and blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. And at that time, I was
And he
interested in
told you should do it just so that you would continue to come back and give him money, right? He never meant
the.
it, did he? Did he
No,
really mean it?
he did. He would say like, "I'll
Awesome.
set you up an interview with my boss." Blah blah blah. Like I'll have him. He really was
Mm-hmm.
like we found a common ground because of music. We listened to a lot of similar bands and music, or he would be like, "Hey, you got to check out this band, Agnostic Front or whatever," and blah blah blah. And here I was like a little like punk kid, It's like, yeah, this is cool, So it's like, we shared like a cool common ground. And I think I remember one time we ran into each other at Pantera and White Zombie, and then we hung out
No, dude,
the rest of the
dude,
concert together. And
dude, you know I was there?
yeah, with Megadeth when Dave
Oh, I
Mustaine
wasn't
got
there.
it was White Zombie, then Pantera, then Megadeth, but Dave Mustaine got hit with a giant chunk of sod right in the fucking
Oh,
face.
and he quit, didn't he?
Oh, he walked right off stage, dude. But it was so good because he was like, "You're destroying Mother Earth," and blah blah blah.
I
And I
heard
was like,
it. It was at the DTE, right? The
"Yeah, yeah." And
Pine
he
Knob
just got
back
this
then.
huge chunk of oh, it was so damn funny, dude. Because like guitar was like his dirt was like all in his guitar and shit. Like, oh man.
Well, did they
Uh,
did they after doing that show, did they do the Palace Auburn Hills or something? Did they stay? Because
I don't
I
know. I
remember
wasn't really a
seeing
Megadeth fan. I think I truly went to go see Pantera. That was like one of their first times in Detroit. And White Zombie was very common. They were coming like every few months, it seemed like.
okay.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
because White
Anyway, me,
Zombie
me
and
and Kenny,
Pantera did a concert at the Auburn that I went to and ended up moshing barefoot in.
right on.
No, not that was terrible on.
Not a
That was
good
wrong
idea.
on. Yeah. Somebody some friends came by and they're like, dude, we got LSD and tickets to the White Zombie. But our
Well, it sounds great. Sign me up. Yeah.
yeah. And I was fighting with my then girlfriend and I'd just gone outside for something and they came by like just then. It was so perfect for me to exit and just leave her there with wondering what no cell phones back then. So she's like, where
Right,
the
right.
fuck did you go? I'm like,
Yeah.
I went and had the best time, but I was wearing sandals when they picked me up.
Oh,
And I
Jesus.
ended up, we were in the nosebleed seats though, so it wasn't a problem. Sandals up there didn't, but it was such a bad show. And I didn't care for Rob Zombie's set.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and then I was just walking around the mezzanine, really fucking dismayed and still pissed off about my life back home and not getting out of it because, of the seats. And then somebody was like, Rush. They yelled Rush. And like a whole fuck ton of people just started rushing this
Going
aisle.
down. And you
Yeah, to the
can't do that
general admission.
nowadays, can you?
I don't get out of the house anymore, man. Tell me, what is it like out there? I'll,
Yeah.
I'll, I'll mosh barefoot inside of a stadium full of tens of thousands of people, but I will not leave my house anymore, man. I don't
Yep.
know. Um,
Yeah.
that was an awesome night. Good times, good albums, and it was well before I was tattooing. So you were
It
already
was
tattooing back then, though.
early 90s scratching. I wasn't really tattooing, but
Well, when you did get a opportunity to meet Tramp and ask him for a job, did he give you one right away?
no, no. He kind of said like, well, I mean, here's kind of the funny part of it, I guess. He tells me like, bring me his best, your best stuff. He says, bring me your best stuff. And I have this whole like drawing book of stuff. And I was influenced early on by like new school artists like Jimmy Litwalk and
Oh
Tony
yeah.
Ciavaro and stuff, and was kind of putting my own twang into what they were already kind of doing too. So I remember having this whole like photo album of drawings and stuff, and first off, he was like an hour and a half late, so I'm like, this guy's making me wait. I guess I'm not
He's
worth it.
he's doing the power play, yeah.
Yeah, already beating me down before I even might meet the guy. And
Come into my office and you have a chair and it's like a kid's chair and he's sitting up there on a throne.
yeah,
So
like
what can I do for you?
like a little Tonka stool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't quite like that. But then I remember him fanning through my book like so quickly, like it didn't even look like he was like looking at it. And then he'd occasionally stop and then keep fanning through it and then stop. Then he like pushes the book like back to me and he goes, oh, I thought I told you to bring your best stuff. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, I was like a belly punch right in the gut.
Let's set something up for people that are listening. Maybe they listened to Tramp's interview.
Yeah.
I interviewed him, and to be completely honest, I was just so scared.
The whole time,
Even
huh?
knowing the guy and liking the guy and being, we've had I've worked for him. We're friends. I consider us friends. We're
Yeah.
friendly, but Tramp's, man, he'll stare right through you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he's definitely got an intimidating presence and all of that. But honestly, once you get to know him, he's honestly a dude like he's been one of the best influences in my life, really. Like one of the
awesome.
best best human beings, and Gina too. Like they've
His wife Gina.
I've been with them for a long time. They've treated
Was it
me
been
good.
16 years, 15, 16 years?
Yeah, you're funny.
It's been that, hasn't it? Was it longer?
Yeah, it's been like 24 years now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I forget how old we are sometimes, man. I
I
try
know,
not to
right?
know. I don't look at calendars. I don't touch money. That's
Right.
the two rules of Kyle's life.
That's probably a smart rule that Candy has on you.
Yeah, it was, she's just setting me up for if she passes early, I'm just going to be one of them doddering old fools that has no idea.
Yeah.
Like, how do you flush the toilet again now? I got to ask it politely or
Yeah,
something.
do you
Please
pull a
conserve
string?
some water while you flush my
Is there a
shit.
string to pull? Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know anymore. Everything's
But,
yeah. The whole when if I was left alone, the whole world would be. I well, we were navigating some customer service things yesterday, and we
uh-huh.
got to the point where normally I would blow up at the person because of a $40 late fee, and you're like, what kind of a fucking business charges $40 on a late fee? I mean, you don't get charged $40 for your rent on a late fee. You're telling me
Right.
Amazon has the ability to charge me $40 for a $5 item when I'm 3 days late? Fuck
Right.
you. And I'm ready to, start throwing chairs and shit. And Candy just
Definitely.
calmly dealt with it. She seems to know that these people have a lot of leeway. So she was just like, be nice, shut the fuck up, Kyle.
Right.
And
They can do
the
what they
person
want,
wrote
Kyle.
off 3 of those late charge, all the late charges we had. She was like, okay, we'll get rid of those. I'm like, whoa, that was so much better than what I just figured I'd never use Amazon again. It's like, well, today's
Right.
the day. They pissed
I
me
have
off
to
now. Yep. Fuck
Yeah.
no, never. What else they got? eBay,
Etsy, any of that? Right, right.
Etsy. I'll be getting my kava from Etsy now.
Yep. Yeah.
My dog food will come from Etsy. Isn't that a thing? A bunch
Yeah.
of
But yeah, but
um.
anyway, like Tramp like slides me back my book, says
Thought I told you to bring
I
your
thought
best stuff. Do a Tramp impersonation for us on that one, though, please.
okay. It was like, I thought I told you to bring your best stuff, dog. I was like, I don't know. I'm laughing right now. I can't really
Me
do
too,
it.
because here it makes me think. Tramp is such an intimidating figure.
Uh-huh.
Do you think he has any idea the number of people that impersonate him?
I don't know. He probably doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
But
think anybody's ever impersonated him to his face? Like, I don't know. I begin wondering. I'm like, I bet he doesn't. Everybody I know that knows Tramp ends up saying something like that. What up, dog? They always kind of change their turn, and they say, even Gil. It seems like Gil made some kind of impersonation of him, or at least used the dog on me. He's like, what do you say? Just that dog.
Yeah, he
Anyways,
probably doesn't like it. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think
has he ever
I'm
heard you
sure he's got to
impersonate him?
know. Huh?
Has he ever heard you impersonate him?
No, he's gonna hear this podcast and probably yell at me.
He ain't listening to this podcast. Tramp's out there riding around in Arizona on his motorcycle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but then like Brian or somebody's gonna be like, "Yeah, did you hear Stelios' new interview? He did impersonate." And like, shit. But no, man.
Well,
Like I was saying though, like he pushed away my book, and then he was like, let me show you what I want you to do, dog. I want you to take, and he's like, I'm gonna send you with some homework, and he finds like this picture of a skull, and then a picture of a panther, and it was like the classic like Vince Neil tattoo that was like clawing onto his arm, kind of dragging the nails like that.
I want
panther.
you to learn to put the red in there so that it looks cool. Like he's dragging right in your skin.
But he's like, I want you to do pencil work. I want to see your shading and see the muscles and the panther and the details in the skull. And honestly, man, I think he thought like, I will never fucking see this fucking kid again.
Right.
I'm gonna send him away with this homework. And literally, like 4 days later, I think I was like calling him like, yeah, hello, Mr. Tramp. This is
Mr.
Stelios.
Tramp.
I have that homework ready for you.
Yeah.
And
Teach.
yeah. we ended up meeting again, and he liked it. And he said, "Well, I like you, but you don't really know how to tattoo, so like, go learn, figure out some of the ins and outs, and blah blah blah, and come and see me in like 6 months." And I think it was probably like 4 or 5 months that I was hitting him back up, and
Well, where'd you go?
I was just like kind of like self-learning and
You didn't
practicing.
go to a shop or anything.
Now it's like doing it myself. I had a lot of cousins and a lot of friends, and I worked in a factory too, where I had a lot of friends that saw me doodle and draw and would always like say, "Hey, man," they knew that I wanted to not be in the factory forever and driving a high low. So they were like, "Yeah, if you want to tattoo something on me, you let me know," and blah blah blah. I learned a lot about like the cleanliness end of it first, because I was, at that point with my ex wife wanting to start a family, so I was like really scared about bringing anything into the house and shit like that.
Any diseases from somebody's blood?
Right. So then, yeah, the rest is history. I remember him saying like, I got an opening in Howell, and I was like, well, where the fuck is that? Because I was like, I'm a city boy,
I
in
thought
the
you
middle.
had a job at a kind of hood shop for a while, a ghetto shop, if you will.
No, no, it's just always like kind of learning on my own.
Right on, learning on the at the factory.
Yeah, well, I mean, with a lot of that people was like definitely helping me get a start.
Right,
So
I do. I started in a trailer park. That's how I figured. That's where there's plenty of skin for me. So there's a certain amount of skin for you at the factory.
right, and then yeah, I was like Metro Detroit, born and raised in like Clawson, Royal Oak area and stuff, and he was like, "Well, I have an opening in Howell," and I was like, "Where the hell is that?" But and now I've been there, same shop for over 20 some years now. So it's crazy. Time
It is
flies, man.
crazy. It is crazy.
Yep.
That's a long time anywhere. I worked there for almost 3 years. That's the
Best
longest I have
best
ever held
best
a
three
job in my
years.
life.
Best 3 years ever, wasn't it?
Damn straight. Yes, it was.
That's right.
It was actually really, it was really cool. It really helped me out at a time we needed some help. We were fostering the Kevlar there, and had to be by the hospital, and it was awesome to give me the opportunity to work there, because I had no, and I needed it. We were fostering a kid that was medically fragile, so it
And
was
then
real
same
cool
with
of him.
same with us, going from not knowing each other and me giving you snarly, gnarly
Yeah,
looks. We've become great friends. You and Candy have been some of my best friends for sure.
yeah, that's actually where the whole idea for this podcast kind of come up, because I was thinking in your text message you gave me such thanks for being friends and not overlooking you after the snarl and all that. And I never really thought about it like that, because I was looking at it like Stelios is the gatekeeper of the guys club. You were no
Right,
longer the nerd. You were so much cooler than that. I was the nerd.
right.
And so I was just like, well, one day maybe I'll be cool enough to join, hopefully.
Yeah,
And
like I said, I just had my head up my ass so far, like back then. So like whatever, and then like life changes you and life humbles you, and you really start to step outside and look and see, and stuff.
what was it like
Sucks.
at first seeing somebody's work that was awesome then? Like sometimes I remember seeing somebody that did great work and I kind of hated them for it, right? Like it was way better than what I was
Uh, yeah,
doing. They started after me.
or you wouldn't show. Remember, like when you wouldn't show that it was like great, you'd be like, "Yeah, it's not bad, it's all right." Great, good for them.
Yeah,
Like
nice, real nice.
really deep inside, you were like, "God damn, they're fucking
Yeah, if you're into bright colors and cool fucking design work, I guess that's what you would get.
yeah, it's like, yeah, fuck me running back to the drawing board. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was for me, I think that was the softening for me, because I had the harder exterior for some time. But then as I started to see people better than me, younger than me, at first, you're kind of like, fuck this kid, one in a million.
Fuck him, I hate him.
Yeah. Cody Reed came into my shop looking for a job once, and he told me, I kind of was like, fuck you, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Cody fucking Reed, bro.
That's hilarious.
I think
now he's like one of the most phenomenal artists I've seen. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah.
And even his stuff then was, he didn't have like a bunch of tattoos, but he had a bunch of artwork.
Right.
And his artwork was all
probably phenomenal.
yeah,
I'm
portrait
sure.
faces of Marilyn and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, good luck, buddy. Whatever.
Well, that's very rare though. Like, how many times though have you, I mean, I know I have kids coming in and they're like, I'm aspiring to be an artist. So we just want your opinion. Tell me what you think one day. And you see it and it's like some like fourth grade level, like stick figures and stuff. Where you're
keep
like,
at it, buddy. One of these days.
Keep chopping away. You don't want to be a dick, but it's like, God damn. But then once in a while, you'll get like the Cody Reeds where you'll see something and be like, God damn, like that shit's amazing, So,
well, you would think that would have made me be more receptive to Cody, but no, I must have been at a spot in my career where I wasn't, where I was just like, whatever, good luck.
Well, like we said though, the industry was different. We would probably say, yeah, kid's good, but don't open up around here, please.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Where are you from? Saginaw? Best to go up there.
Stay out there. Yeah, Saginaw is a great area. Like
far away from Flint.
Keep them the fuck away from me, please. Yeah, it's funny. But
I did
now look at some of the young kids now that I've been judging at like the villain arts conventions. It's so amazing seeing some of the work and then hearing, yeah, this kid's only been tattooing 2 years, and you're like, fucking what? Like, it's
fuck me running. What do we
amazing.
Even do?
Right. But I mean, like, we didn't have the machinery,
well, now you're going to start with the excuses.
Yeah.
We had shitty ink. Right. Yeah. We had terrible mentors.
No,
it was my brother went to a shop, and one of the guys was putting rubbing alcohol in his black ink at night.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember working with a guy that was filling up my black with water. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Why is all my black work coming back washed out? Faded. My lines look like they're gray.
Yeah.
My lines look like a Tom Renshaw portrait.
Yeah, we definitely had different animals to deal with for sure. But like I said, listening to some of old Philadelphia Eddie's stories and Tramps, and then what they've had to deal with, and then what we've had to deal with, I guess it wouldn't be where it's at today for sure. So I am thankful for the history, just not so thankful for, I guess, my own actions or behaviors or how I used to be.
It's always a journey, right? I figured you were going there, but it's always a journey. So we arrive at this place, and we wouldn't even, to me, okay, to be honest, there's only about 167 of them that actually listen to podcasts like me talking by myself, or me talking with somebody without a huge following. Like, as it works, if I get somebody on with a huge social presence, it gets shared more listens. And then there's like 167 of us listening. And I'm figuring that all of them are villain arts tattoo artists or people that know us very personally,
Probably, yeah.
And I don't know, there's some perspective on that might help, or there's some part of your perspective on our past as tattooing, or your spot in tattooing, my spot in tattooing from our age, to that these younger kids might be able to extrapolate some. Would it be respect? I don't think it's even respect, because we're past that. They got respect.
Yeah.
But understanding, I guess, because that's kind of, I hear a lot of old timers, and I'm one, that say certain things that I have to guard myself against, because they'll say things in the very fashion that I can see it's actually what holds them back. Like I get somebody that tells me these kids nowadays, they don't want to do whatever tattoo comes through the door. They just want to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
And they got to be able to do all these small tattoos. And the truth of the matter, if you study careers, and for those listening at home, if you are a tattoo artist, this is, I think it could set you up a couple of light years ahead of the game. If you know this, no, don't do every tattoo. Have a
Right.
strong no. One thing that your career has seen, like, you don't want to do anybody else's tattoo.
Right. But
Like
we
you
weren't
wanted,
allowed to say no, really. You know what I'm saying? We had to do
right.
anything and
Yeah.
everything coming through the door, whether it
And
took
at
us
some
out of our
point that'll
comfort
hold you
zone.
back though.
Right.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
It
Because
could
then it
make
would
you
take
learn.
us out of our
Mhm.
comfort zone and we do something that, wasn't as great as the one before that we had total liberty with. You know what I'm saying? So then
Mhm.
somebody would see that tattoo and be like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to go see that guy. So, but yeah, that in itself is like a career changer right there. Like you just said, you know what I'm saying?
Is what's that?
Uh,
Knowing what you want, or
yeah, just not doing every damn thing or saying no, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that was just not we were not allowed to do that back then,
No,
so
no. I know I wasn't allowed to do that because I couldn't hold a job anywhere.
uh-huh.
So, like I when I tell you I worked for you for 3 years or with you for 3 years over the Eternal Ford Tramp there, that is the longest job I have ever held in my life, I believe. That I didn't work for myself. So
Right.
when I was starting up, I couldn't find anybody that would hire me. That was reputable. Like a
Right.
bunch of little shops would hire you and then they'd screw over
The
their
traffic wasn't like
landlord
it
and
is nowadays either. People will say, "Oh, it's slow," and it's like, dude, this isn't slow. Like, you want to see slow,
yeah,
like,
go back to 1998 Christmas.
right,
When you're just
so.
like, I don't know how these kids are going to get any toys under the tree.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
don't know.
I remember coming so close to calling my son and being like, "Well, Santa's got a flat tire up there by the North Pole, and he might not make it down this year."
Right.
But then, luckily, like the week of would get
I was, yep.
busy and to help make up, and we'd be last minute shopping the night
Yeah.
before for his presents and stuff. But no, now there's definitely foot traffic, and it's probably foot traffic that we helped establish.
Mhm.
I can't take any and all the credit. It's Eternal Tattoos, also. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. But you're part of
definitely,
that huge cog. You were
so
part of that making it work. When
I did my best, man. That's all I could say.
I talk
So
over with Troy Temple, the owner of Villain Arts, we talk about Philadelphia. And that's the
uh-huh.
biggest tattoo convention in the world. And you could almost ask why. It isn't because it started out as a tattoo mecca. He believes that he has had a great hand in it because of
Uh-huh.
the success that he's had in building and promoting Philadelphia as one of
Sure.
his biggest and first shows, and because of the advertising simply from his tattoo convention that he does, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that he puts into it, possibly even $250,000 into advertising for a show each year, that raises awareness of tattooing in that area. And he
Sure.
believes it's pretty directly related to the work done by Villain Arts that,
Sure.
that has made
I feel like
Philadelphia this
I
heavily
think a
tattooed
lot of
place.
the artists there too were responsible. Remember, like doing Chicago and doing Philly when they were very small. They were very, very like lucrative for us to like walk away from those shows and be like, "Holy shit, I fucking killed it!"
Yeah.
Yes, I worked my fucking ass off, but I fucking killed it. So then when another artist would say, "How was Philly?" Dude, I fucking crushed it. So then that's gonna make other artists be like, well, maybe
Go
next
out there
year
next
I
year.
need to go
Mm-hmm.
to Philadelphia or go to Chicago. And definitely like that show, like listen to that number, 250,000 in promoting alone. Like that's some people don't even put
Yeah.
that towards the entire fucking show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's amazing and what it's turned into. And yeah, seeing it from like the old hotel. I don't remember if it was a Hyatt or a Sheridan or something like that, and then to the other place, and now to this. It's like amazing,
Mhm.
watching it grow, and it's going to be even bigger this year. So just to like walk around the room and see like that many artists and all of that, it's just amazing, dude. Like it's crazy. It's awesome.
It is crazy to see when you go to a city like Philadelphia and then you see a line around what is
The
it, the Reading
building,
Market? It's not the Reading Market, but
Reading
it's
Street or
right,
something like that,
Reading
isn't it?
Street, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Race Street, Reading Street, all that. And there's a line like a wrapped around this huge line of people waiting to get in.
To get
Um,
in, right?
yeah, I'll give it to us. We did that. That's what we did. Or others that came before us, but I'll ride on their coattails. Sure.
Well, I mean, I think everything definitely has a play in it. Of course, Troy is the maestro for sure, but
Right
like
in Philadelphia, Eddie, that he purchased it from, and his desire to keep that going.
city, right?
When you say you used to listen to Philadelphia Eddie stories, where did you catch him from Philadelphia Eddie, or did you hear him on his in his books or his audio tapes or anything?
Everything, you know what I'm saying? It's like I remember, I think I met him the very first time at a show in Asheville, North Carolina, and he was signing books, I think then, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So, uh,
Philadelphia Eddie was instrumental in getting tattooing in New York,
uh-huh,
where it was illegal, but he was kind of forced out of New York and uh, and started in Philly because it was legal there, and so he got the moniker Philadelphia Eddie, despite being originally operating in New York. I'm probably wrong about all this, but man, I love listening to his stories or even reading his books.
same,
They
same. And then
they
Shanghai,
go all over. Mm-hmm.
Shanghai Kate too. I met her,
Well,
I think
she
the
just
first time.
passed.
Yeah, she just recently passed away, and just listening to some of her stories and what a pioneer she was for like female artists, and stuff. So
And just what a testament of a human being too, that like the crazy shit that she has gotten herself into, been through. Was she
oh
was
yeah, then
kidnapped in
how
Mexico at
females
one point?
females were like females were totally like condemned for getting tattoos, and now I mean I don't know about you, but I would say like 50% of my clientele is female,
Right.
so it's like it's
I'm
crazy.
told that there's more females going into tattooing right now too. It's just
Ton-
from
Tons of
different tattooers.
artists, yep, for sure.
And back in the day, my wife would be making a stencil for somebody, getting ready to tattoo him, and they would say, "So after he gets done," they would point to me. I'd be tattooing at the time. They worked with her through every process. There was nothing to make them think that she wasn't going to tattoo them, except for her absence of a penis. Like they're clearly you have no penis. So after he gets done, he's going to tattoo. How does this work? I don't get it. I'm starting to
Right,
get
right.
scared that you're thinking you're going to put in ink in my skin, and that's not possible. You're a female.
You're a girl. Right, right, right.
And
Yeah.
now, and there was back then too, there was the one or two guys that were like, no, I only get tattooed by females. And you're like, you're a creep.
Right. Yeah.
I love getting tattooed by girls. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
sure you
sure
do,
you
buddy.
do. Right, right.
But
But
nowadays, yeah, there's no question about it. It seems like, no one says, no one seems to assume as much anymore what the gender of the artist has to be for quality work.
right.
I don't know. I want to. Did I hire any female artists? I'm trying to think. I want to take credit for it, but it's probably Kat Von D's work really that did that.
Well, I mean that definitely like turned another page, it was all those shows. I remember like Miami Ink coming on and being like sweet, like this is gonna make it like take it to the next level, and then LA Ink coming on and being like, all right, like this is something else too, like every show had its like pinnacle too.
Then Ink Master, the
And
best.
then that goddamn Ink Master.
Goddamn Ink Master. I reached out to Nunez recently. I don't know if I
Uh-huh.
told you this.
No,
I
you did
texted him
not.
up. I forgot I had his number, and I just wanted to text him, and tell him I still hate you, and
Uh-huh.
I hate that you're alive. And no, I'm kidding. I actually texted him and thanked him because so many people still to this day recognize. I swear to fucking, I went in to get my oil changed yesterday.
Oh
Maybe if
yeah.
you're listening, you don't know this about me, but I've shaved my hair off. And do me this favor, if you see me nowadays and you recognize that my hair is shaved, don't ask me to grow it back. You fucking
Yeah.
asshole. Like, do you go up to
Yeah.
somebody in a wheelchair and be like, hey,
Go.
you
Oh
should walk?
yeah. You
What are
should
you,
walk
lazy?
again.
Yeah.
Right.
You Jesus Christ in him or something? You go up
Uh,
there, lay your hands on him, and make him walk. If you got the power, if you want to grow my hair back for me, God bless you. Do it. I would
do it
love
already.
to have that thick, luxurious hair that I had in my youth. But
Yeah.
nowadays, I'm going on to Captain Jean-Luc Picard style. Okay.
Oh yeah, it
So
doesn't
just
quite
keeping it
grow that way,
short.
does it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's not up to me anymore. That's what I have
Uh,
to tell people. Like, dude, you should grow your hair back so I'd recognize you. But either
yeah.
never mind. Nonetheless, about that, I'm going to get my oil changed, and the dude's like, dude, I'll take him back right away. Yeah, come right this way, Kyle. And I'm like, whoa, Kyle, do I know you? He's like,
Right.
no, but I know you, Mr. Netflix. And I'm like, oh shit. Like
I
even
tried growing my hair out not too long ago, and not all of it was growing out like it should. So I ended up like growing like this mullet thing that was like
nice.
the guy from Eastbound and Down or whatever. And I was
Dude,
like,
that's coming
yeah,
back in though.
this isn't working. No, it was simply just like not working for me at all. So I was just like, yeah, I need to cut this stuff, you know.
Gotta
So
keep it, gotta keep it short nowadays.
yeah,
Sad
yeah,
but true.
totally.
Who is it
But
you said whose style did you say there?
oh, I forget his name, the actor, Danny McBride, I think, from
Okay.
Eastbound and
Yeah.
Down. And I was like,
Do, do you notice that this stuff is coming like our culture that we might have felt was the fringe, that was on the edge back
right,
in the day is now being sold at Walmart. Like when I was 13, I had the Guns N' Roses cross from their Appetite for Destruction album, and
huh,
now it's at Walmart. Like you had to go and like either order off the inside of the album, like to their merch, like thing, and send them an actual envelope with money and shit in it to get a T-shirt back, or you had to go to the concert, or you had to go to like Spencer's or something, some head shop somewhere that had it. And now you buy it at Walmart. Kids don't even know. They're just like, oh, Appetite. I just like this shirt. It was cool. I saw Kanye wearing it. So I'm watching this girl rap on SNL last night. I
right,
don't know if it's rapping or it's music. I don't know. I'm bad about new stuff, and she's wearing this Harley Davidson Eagle, like
okay,
straight up genre change. You might expect her to be wearing a NWA or something, right? Because of what heritage or
oh yeah,
what
a tattoo
was
artist is a
accepted.
Halloween costume now, man. Remember, like, I don't know, it's like so accepted and so common now that it's like,
What do you
yeah,
do?
we
Just
got,
get a black Sullen shirt and grow a beard?
yeah, and have those like nylon fake sleeve thingies, you know.
Oh wow! You really can get that from like a gift shop, like a tattoo artist. I'm going this year as a tattoo artist.
Yeah, yeah, they got the little nylon sleeves and everything. It's
Yeah,
hilarious. But
that
I
is.
am I
It's
am
awesome.
glad that we are friends now, man. And I like I said, I did apologize about
Oh, you
our
never need
first
to. I
our
I
first
I
meetings.
like that, right? Because if it was too easy to be accepted, then what kind of friends would we even be? Like maybe you made it such a challenge, right? That I was like, no, I'm going to conquer this. Me and Stelly, we're friends. We're going to be friends. He don't know it yet.
Right.
We're going to be besties.
Yeah.
um, Stelios, what is my problem? Like,
With what? What do you think?
I don't, with me, like, I should be happy.
Uh-huh.
I sound happy. I talk happy. In conversations with people, I can always be happy and I can always put up a front. Maybe, I don't even know if it's a front, but then, especially around this time of year, I'm fucking depressed, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to be happy in the holidays. Is that right? Like,
Yeah, I think this
Christmas
weather
music pisses me off.
weather has a lot to do with it. The sun never being out, it's always
You get it
constantly
too?
gray. Yeah, of course. And then it's like family that's come and gone and stuff too. So that, you think about all of those things. So, but
I can't
we get,
watch
we,
a commercial and be happy. And like if holiday season commercials, I don't even know if it's just holiday season commercials, because commercials always kind of get me, but
uh,
I just hate them around this time. And then I catch myself driving on the road or whatever. Went to the oil change yesterday. Two people
right.
say, I never finished that story. I'm sorry. Two people recognize me, even despite my hair being cut. But Nunez, so that's why I had to thank Nunez. It's just like, dude, people still recognize me because of what you did. You knew that you were making me popular, whether or not we liked each other or not. You knew the outcome better than I would. I imagined you were trying to ruin my career. Yet over 10 years later, people are still giving me preferential treatment at the oil change, at the dealership. Like
Sure.
that's
Amazing.
something. But despite that, I'm driving back and I just, I, I feel like I hate everything, dude. I feel like I hate everything and I need to,
Sure.
and I know better because it doesn't
Right.
make me happier. It doesn't make my world better. It don't make the people around me better. And honestly, I can't even it's not that I can't confide. It's just, I don't know, like, who cares that you get like, hey, we got a lot of shit going on holidays. Yeah, okay, we get it. You're depressed. A lot of people are depressed now, Kyle.
Right. Hey, Kyle, do you mind if I cut you off for a second?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
pause
I'm
and
talking about my feelings and all that. Yeah, by all means, sure, man. Well, we're
no,
getting through the
my
depressing
son
part.
walked in. We're gonna go to lunch real quick, but
Oh, no
maybe
problem.
we can pause, quit, edit, and come back, or how do you
I
how do you
think we
feel?
can.
Yeah,
I think we maybe even just leave it at that because that's almost more perfect. Hey, man, help me out for a second. I will, but my son just got.
no, no, we have more to talk about. So let's please continue.
Yes, we do. Enjoy your lunch. Tell Noah we said hi.
He's right
And
here if you want to tell
what up, Noah?
him.
What do you
He
say?
says hi. He says, "Hey, how are you?"
Oh, hey, how are you? I thought he said get a parka. I'm like, I live in Michigan. I've got a parka. Hey,
Right
how
on.
are you? Hey, how are you? Well, you
Do you
kids have a good time.
do you want
We'll
me to
talk to
call
you.
text you later here, or are you busy? Or you
Yeah,
got
let's see where we're at. I got a little bit of running to do, but I've got time a little bit later on in the night for sure. So
same? All right,
we'll
buddy.
talk to you soon, brother. Love you,
Love
man.
you, man. All right, bye.
That's funny. Um, I do have this right now, and it is hard to confide with people. I guess confide. I don't even know. Like I want to be honest with people listening, and from what I hear from listening to myself sometimes is I have. I don't want to call it a mask, but I'm sure a psychologist would of that covers up some of my feelings. And throughout this time, I really get it's not necessarily depression. It's something that I have to fight against harder than that because it leads to depression. I shouldn't say harder than that, but it leads to depression. I feel during this time as though I am less connected with people than any other time. Or maybe they're more involved in their own lives, very similar to what just happened when you're like, hey, help me out with this. I've been struggling. And they're like, all right, but I've got to go to lunch first. And oh, man, I don't want to throw that on the kid like I'm cutting it down. I'm really more just trying to analyze myself, wondering why it is at these times of the year, especially, I get an overriding sense of dread. But I guess we'll catch into that a little bit later. Maybe we'll talk about it with our boy Stelios when he gets back. Till then, obviously, I've either stayed too long, said too much, definitely stayed too long. There's no one else here. So we'll be signing off.